the top 6% of your customer base make up 50% of your profit. So it's only 6% of customers who actually do it. So if you, like he's saying, you take that 6% and you grow it to, 7%, what does that mean in profitability? All right, so I figured we'd just spend some time talking about AIM Expo. We just finished that up. So we spent the last, how many days together here?
4, 3.
Okay, 4 days. We could talk about this weird, creepy ass house that we have with all the Disney stuff painted on the walls because we're next to Disneyland.
Yeah. That was unexpected. So sometimes your friends book Airbnbs. So we went as a big group, got an Airbnb together. Us three, Danny, who's not here right now because he left, and Maggie. And Maggie's the one who found it. And then she sent it to us. She said, "How does this look?" And being very pragmatic as we all are, we were like, how many bedrooms does it have? How many beds does it have? How much is it going to cost? And none of us looked at the photos.
Apparently not once.
No.
Especially me, because my room has princess dresses hanging in the closet.
You never wore any of them either.
I know.
That was part of the plan.
It's hard to explain.
There's
Maybe
time.
We'll try to shoot some B-roll and edit it in right here. It'll be right here. There's murals of all the Disney characters, and Lance got stuck with a Cars-themed room that has a bunk bed in it, and the closet is filled with princess costumes. It's not even a joke. It's.
Well, what are the rules with that? If there are bunk beds, do you automatically have to sleep on the top bunk?
Did you sleep on the top bunk?
Of course.
No, it was too high up for me. I was scared.
There's a couple of nights. Sometimes it's hard to get into a top bunk.
The problem is when you get back to the house and you're in showroom condition.
Right.
Accidents could happen.
Of course. Let's just say from an insurance perspective,
Yeah.
it's probably an unneeded risk.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Sure.
Oh, God.
But the conference was great.
The conference was really good.
Really good. Actually, dude, this is weird, okay? Because it was shaped weird, which is fine. It was just a little bit cut up because of the convention center it was in. And so at the beginning, it didn't feel like it was very big. But then once you realized that there's a whole nother section, I think this AIM, at least for me, was better than any of the AIMs I've been to so far.
Yeah. It was. It's been Vegas the last 3 years.
Yeah.
3 years, something like that. Is that right? And
Yeah.
then Orlando before that. It's going back to Orlando next year.
Yeah, apparently there's construction at the Vegas Convention Center, and so they.
Oh.
Yeah, so there's big. I heard this from one of the AIM guys. They have a big construction project at the convention center, and the Vegas Convention Center kicked everybody that was under a certain size for the next 2 years, and so SEMA and all the big ones are still going to be there because it's worth it for them to remove the construction and go back to it. I guess.
Still, man, that's such a big. AIM is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the biggest for our industry right now, in the U.S. at least.
Yeah, but then, so I guess it's going to do Orlando, and then from what they were saying, it's going to go back to Vegas and stay in Vegas.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I was really impressed by the vibe. Last year felt very
Depressing?
Depressing was the word. Last year was super depressing.
It was. Some big vendors weren't there, and and I think it was bad timing too. I think there was some industry things going on that were just felt heavy.
It felt way harder, and it's not like this year things are much better, but I think it did feel like there was a lot more people there recognizing that something is changing, and we're doing something different.
Yeah. What do you think was the difference between last year and this year? Do you think it might have been a little bit of the uncertainty of what's going to happen with pricing and tariffs? And because I kind of feel like people are a hell of a lot more informed now.
Yeah.
And looking at the kind of products that are out there, I think it looks to me like there's a lot more stability in people knowing a lot more about where they're going to be at in terms of what they're selling, how they're marketing,
That's
what
true.
they have.
Very true.
New brands. I mean, there was an entire Pakistani pavilion.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Of everything from motorcycles to products.
Yeah.
It was just.
Yeah, I also noticed too that there were some Chinese brands there that have elevated their show.
Oh, totally. It's like the
really
CF Moto
pushing
guys
it.
stepped their game up so much, and
CF
now
Moto
there's
came in,
others.
And you got Cove right
Oh
behind
my God,
them.
Cove was
so cool.
Awesome.
So
yeah.
cool. But then there were also some other, and I apologize because I don't remember all their names because I'm not in that market yet. But I saw some smaller Chinese brands that had really big displays this year.
Yeah.
And I just think that at some point you get just there's nowhere to go but be optimistic, because you can't be any more pessimistic. And it just kind of felt like everybody was just a little bit over being
being upset. No, I agree. It kind of felt like, I remember in beginning of 2025, everybody was feeling it's about to get bad. Like it has turned and it was going down. And 2025 was really bad for a lot of stores. A lot of stores closed. A lot of stuff went sideways. And a lot of the big groups, obviously, we're well aware of the Motos America thing, but a lot of big groups went sideways. But it almost feels like, I'm sure this 2026 will still be a struggle for a lot of stores, but it does feel like we've reached kind of like
the bottom.
I don't know if it's, I hope it's the bottom, but like it did feel like, okay, we're here, which to me felt not just like, okay, at least the bleeding will stop. It was more like we can start rebuilding from here though.
Yeah.
And that's what it all felt like for everybody.
What do you think the reason is for BMW and Ducati not having an actual physical presence at the show?
The Ducati one's interesting to me.
Yeah.
That one was the only one that caught me out a little bit. Was BMW at the last one?
I've never seen.
I don't think I've ever.
I haven't seen them at AIM before. Maybe I might be wrong.
But
I know they weren't there last year for sure.
But I know that they don't tend to do much like in the U.S. with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So they maybe IMS did that come back? I can't remember. I heard that it was going to.
Really?
Yeah, but I just now realized that I don't remember where. So I could.
I heard that in a dream.
But when they were doing IMS, they were at IMS because everybody was.
I think so.
Yeah. And then, but no, Ducati was a bit of a surprise, especially with them racing.
I know.
But
Yeah.
that might be why they weren't. Is that it's just spread too thin? Probably.
Still, Triumph had a nice little setup
Dude,
there, and they raced.
Triumph's so in right now.
Yeah.
Like their booth was huge. There's that crazy semi truck setup that they've got.
Yeah, that was cool.
Super cool.
Yeah, we had so last night was Supercross.
Yeah.
So for those of you listening, last night was Supercross, really well attended, like crazy well attended.
And also Ducati being on the podium first heat.
Yeah.
First race.
Yeah.
Pretty wild.
Supercross. That is.
Yeah.
I mean, that was if that wasn't a warning shot to
Right.
to the motocross Supercross and motocross industry.
Yeah.
I
No
don't
kidding.
know what, but there was also a lot of carnage that went on in
Yeah.
the rest of the evening with the racing. But it was an exciting season opener, and also to have this show tied to Supercross motocross, because the industry is it's a younger, very much a younger demographic overall
Totally.
in the motorcycle arena.
Yep.
A lot of the conversations that were happening at Supercross was, we've been here for a few days. We were at the show. So, everybody was really interested in what was being showcased, the new products or outside brands. I mean, I was surprised at how many different brands were being marketed and touted, from China to Pakistan to whatever. The Norton motorcycles.
Oh my God, dude,
Norton
was
was
cool.
beautiful. I mean, it just looked like
Atlas and the Manx. That was the two that got displayed, right? It was
they had
a couple different levels of
Atlas,
Manx.
They had a Manx, and then they have
What do they call the FE? The Manx FE.
Yeah, and then they had so that was that's the first edition Manx R, and then they had the teal one there. They had the Atlas, and then what's the middle one? What's the other, the Street Fighter looking one that they got? I can't remember what it's called.
there was an adventure bike as well.
I think that's the Atlas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
Makes sense.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Those are very cool.
But the display, like the way they had it set up, like it almost looked like an art display at the Met or something.
It really
Like,
did.
I honestly think that in my view, they won display of the show.
Wait a
I
minute.
completely
Hold on.
agree.
Is the Met is where they play music?
The Met Gala is where art is.
Is where art is?
Yeah.
Okay, I had it right.
Yeah.
That's myself. Where do they play music?
Concert halls. I don't know.
hate you.
Okay, so you're right. I think that the display for Norton was the coolest, and I
Yeah.
can say that confidently, not just because I thought it looked good, but we all hung around there.
Yes.
It was like a
We
cool
did.
spot to be around. It was just so interesting, and
I like
Bikes were cool.
The display box was I
Yeah.
don't know.
The guy's glass box,
yeah,
so they had the
big
bike
glass
in, and-
Yeah, they did a good job.
you did a great job. Actually, so obviously, our friend Steve Ratt is the CEO of Norton North America. God,
Close enough.
Yeah.
It's still early. It's okay.
Yeah, it is still really early. The coffee is still brewing.
I'm gonna go get it. Actually, is that
Okay,
weird?
sure.
Okay.
But did you know that he designed that entire display himself on PowerPoint? Really? Yeah, as he was telling me. Yeah, in PowerPoint. He was like, I just needed to come up with something, so I used PowerPoint, put it together, and we got it approved and sent it off to be made.
Well, good for him. I mean, it definitely having the bike in the box
Yeah,
was
that
genius.
glass display thing was
genius
really
because
cool.
like you said, I mean, we kind of ended up gravitating towards the Norton box because it was so cool.
Yeah.
You could just literally stand there, and it was like being mesmerized by something that was on a TV screen.
Yeah,
because
it
of
made
Michael.
it seem
Yeah.
so much more special than
very
other bikes
very
out there.
well lit, very well attended in terms of the people that they
sir.
had around there, and thank you, and just them telling their story. The components on the bike are amazing.
They really were, man. The finishes.
I cannot
those
wait to
BST
actually
wheels, carbon.
Yeah, I cannot wait to actually hear one, see it run.
Yeah.
Fire one up and see what it looks like. It's going to be an absolute weapon.
Yeah,
Carbon wheels on that first edition are so stupid.
They are beautiful. Yeah.
good stupid.
There was a couple of cool. So like we said, Cove before, that one kind of blew me away with what they're coming out with for the price point. Beta's booth was packed.
Yeah, that was
Yes.
that was packed the whole time.
I'm a dirt bike guy in the sense of like I own a dirt bike and I trail ride with my friends whenever I get the opportunity, which hasn't been for the last like 5 years maybe.
Yeah.
But I had no idea they made so much stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Like they have so much stuff available, and like I think that was a big eye opener for me too, is like cruising around I'm very familiar obviously with the brands I carry, but like or I'm adjacent to. But like sometimes cruising around, I love going to like, Yamaha and like checking out all the new Yamaha. I don't get to see them ever.
Yeah,
And like,
yeah. We don't
there's
play in
just
that space
so
enough.
many really good motorcycles out there. I also did notice too that a lot of the conversations have pulled away from where things are made. And
Yeah.
I think
That's probably on purpose.
not from the people who work there. I'm talking about from just customers in general, listening to people in the booths.
You're saying like people are less concerned
They're
about
less,
that?
yeah. I think
Yeah.
it's like I
That
think
could
it's,
be.
it's obviously because they have to be less concerned about it, or they wouldn't own anything.
Yeah.
Because even American-made products, they're not made here still.
Yeah.
And so, but it is really interesting to me that like in this industry, very recently, there were countries that were bad words. India and China. You were
Yeah.
like,
It's
I
like,
mean,
I don't want to bike from
yeah,
there.
like
or-
if I go back into the very recent past, before I moved to California though, but I would use where it was made as a selling point. Hey,
Yep.
this is made in Italy. It's better than its Chinese counterpart, and I think that has been thrown out the window. Where when people say, "Well, is it still made in England?" and you're like, "No, absolutely not. No, God, no, it's good. It's fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it."
Yeah, it works
Like,
great. But
yeah.
we're going back to Norton. Norton is going to be made in England.
Is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
there
it's
it's still
terrible.
what is it? TVS. It's
TVS, yeah.
still an Indian company that's making it, but they have a factory in England. So
Yeah, that's cool.
making
See,
production.
isn't that crazy too? I mean, man, we
Yeah.
could get into a podcast like crazy, going the other direction, where you have Indian-owned companies that are now
I know,
building
right?
factories in European branded
crazy.
businesses. There's a book there, and it probably has something really meaningful that I just am not smart enough to understand. But you should look into it.
Okay, yeah, I'll work on that one. Work on that
Somebody
for
look
sure.
into that.
Is there an audiobook?
I can't. I don't have the time. I can't be listening to that. You just tell me. Give me a brief.
Well, do you have
synopsis.
time? Do you have time to sit down and actually flip the page?
No.
Doesn't have
If
any
you
of
could
that.
get it, in one swipe on Instagram, I'm starting to realize I don't go
Oh.
more than 2 swipes. After that, I don't care anymore. So
Yeah,
That's my attention span is perfect.
getting
And,
shorter and shorter, like the customers. That's
yeah,
good.
eventually, I hope to just sit and experience nothing. Would be great. No,
Yeah.
no
Do you-
sensory input.
So do you guys think that this type of show? Because I don't know if I got the sense if the majority of the people were customer base or just more industry concerned people that actually came to the show.
Well, you have to be in the industry to get in, right? It's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
free to dealers. but
You mean like dealer focused,
Was
like
it
retail
vendors?
focused or business to business focused? I saw more
I see what you're
retail
saying.
focused people than I've seen at that show in a while.
Really?
I saw a lot of dealers. I saw a lot of retail focused people.
Yeah.
There obviously were a huge amount of business to business. But wow, I took one day from my store and went around with a retail focus.
Yeah.
And when I was doing that, and now granted it could just be perception, but when I was doing that, I was shoulder to shoulder with a lot of people doing that.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Right? Asking questions about what they could buy, what minimum buy-ins were, like
Yeah.
where it was manufactured, how much it will cost, that kind of stuff.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that was really interesting because normally you see mostly people trying to sell you stuff as a dealer.
Yeah, that's true.
They're just wandering around talking about insurance or what products or services you should use. So
Yeah.
it did feel like there was a lot more retail outlet
Yeah.
reach out. So
Yeah. And which is cool because I think it kind of teed up a lot more conversations because you kind of got the cheat codes to look at what somebody else is doing next door.
Yeah.
And steal some ideas. But I think everybody more than anything was willing to share ideas of what their successes and struggles have been.
Yeah.
And with the lot that they were some of the places were showcasing, like you were saying, Beta, Norton, it pricks the motorcycle giants, the companies, it pricks their ears up because they can see how, we'll go back to talking about Norton, how that little company is now having a resurgence just purely by their presence, look and feel.
Yeah.
And they're going, ooh,
Yeah.
the Covey,
Yeah.
their presence, and everybody kind of side-eyed it for a while.
Yeah.
And during the whole week or the few days that we're there, everyone's talking about how they've been on the podium 2 or 3 days in a row at Dakar.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they're like,
Wild. I
there's-
mean, it totally
there's
changed
Chinese
the
things.
attitude. Yeah.
More people started going back to look at it and like,
Yeah.
how are they doing this? What's different about this? What components are they using? Who's their... No, it's their brand.
Yeah.
Was
yeah.
it your buddy Wade or somebody was telling me that there's more manufacturers represented in Dakar now than
Yes.
there has been since like
Really?
the 80s or something like that? I can't remember the stat he actually told me, but there is a really cool part of this is that when shit gets a little bit rocky and it gets a little bit sterile, there's the diversity of sport is coming back.
Yeah,
So you've
that's
got
really cool.
Triumph and Ducati being added back into motocross. That's
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, MotoGP is so small now. It's got
who's-
but it's
You know who's next year going back to GP? Or going to GP, first time ever? Harley.
Yes.
oh yeah
Harley
yeah.
baggers are getting raced in that as
Baggers
well. I mean,
seats,
granted, it's not going to be racing against the other ones, but like
No,
it
no,
is
no.
part of the series, which
Yeah,
is
you're
going
right.
to be
Yeah.
just wild. Like, what an incredible introduction.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So, I mean, it was really crazy to see not just the Ducatis and Triumphs race last night, but to see like just the like ticker, the like the track of Ducati and Triumph going around the stadium is like the craziest thing. Like, it's kind of out of body experience. It's like, wow,
it's
how is this
weird.
happening
when,
here?
When we're sitting by the track too, you have all the Triumph like track markers and everything like that. And you have Ducati going around the top, and it was like what I don't. It's never happened.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
pretty cool, like, and so it'd be really cool. I just remember when I was growing up that manufacturers were really important. And
Yeah.
I know that sports have become really rider centric as well, but like manufacturing cups, even in cars, like Trans Am racing and that kind of stuff, there used to be rivalries through manufacturers.
Yeah.
And, you still have that. You have, Ducati guys and you have like Honda guys and stuff like that. But like, at least in the dirt segment, the manufacturer it's been a little bit sterile. So it's just not something you talk about that much. Like, you talk about the riders because like they're all on KTMs or they're the top guys are like, you got 3 different brands up there and they're intermixed. But like, if you have a spread of competitive brands, that's cool.
Absolutely.
So
It
good
is
for the
really
industry,
cool.
too.
It's
Like,
great for the industry. It's not just the same,
Right.
same Japanese, Japanese brands over and over and over again.
No,
you
totally.
know?
So you need little kids to like get behind the motorcycle as much as they do their heroes. Who are riding.
Well, I think that's you just kind of took the words out of my mouth. Them now creating, or the European brands entering the arena, and actually, well, all the brands essentially that are now involved. Well, let's go typically Ducati, Triumph, once again BMW not in that space, but the European brands, other than KTM and Husky entering that arena, giving the younger generation a point of entry into those kinds of products, because mostly the general consensus is Ducati. I don't think, and some kids or some of the younger demographic wouldn't walk into that showroom purely because it was kind of unobtainium for them at their age.
Yeah.
But now, they got a dirt bike that's 11 grand. It's the same price as everything else. So now you've got those younger kids that are now looking at, Ducati's on the podium, or Ducati's racing. You know,
I can go get one.
I can go get one. Now I have a reason to walk into the Ducati store.
Yeah, or better yet, even just the brand recognition. I was talking to Rod yesterday about exactly this. I had asked him, like, how do you feel about Ducati now joining the ranks as well? And it's like, I think it's going to be awesome. It's great for the industry. But dude, he mentioned that the first time that Triumph raced in motocross, their web traffic like spiked some crazy amount I've never seen before, because
more than it ever has.
Yeah, more than it ever has, just because people going, what the hell is Triumph? I didn't know that was a thing, and now they're all looking it up, and the brand recognition's huge now.
Well, think about it. Those brands. Let's just take Triumph, BMW in particular. Your average age buyer around 50.
Yeah.
Okay, be very interested to see how far that ticker's moved now.
Yeah, right. Since you start bringing in
because now they've rebranded Osset, their electric trials bike. It's now branded a Triumph. So they're getting kids on Triumph brands from as young as 3 years old.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, and they have the 400s, and so they got an entry bike. So yeah, it's a great idea. The one thing I do love, for anybody who doesn't know, Rod is the CEO of Triumph North America. But the one thing I do like is when you did ask that question, how quick he answered.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, dude, it's freaking awesome." He's so excited to have just other people, because it really is. Some people in the industry have the mindset of industry growth, not just profit for their particular OEM. Now, it all gets very muddy with the details of business, but there are people who are just like, I don't care, more motorcycles. More people on motorcycles. It doesn't matter. Just get more people on motorcycles. It's such a huge, it's so big in other countries, it's not a sport. Now, a lot of that is economic based, but it's not a sport. It's a mode of transportation. And here it's this like luxury sport thing, and it suffers when you don't create incoming people. And like
when the average age just gets older and older and older.
What you do, and like when I was little, like Honda was putting out dirt bike commercials for kids. I wanted one. I watched dirt bike commercials on TV.
Meet the nicest people on Honda.
Totally.
Yeah, exactly.
Now I know TV and radio aren't a thing anymore, but Honda, I did see on the internet. It came across my feed somehow, and obviously I don't get little kid things on my feed.
That's weird.
But I saw a commercial come across my Instagram or whatever that was a family with a little kid riding like a CR50, and I was like, yes, because I mean, I think there's a lot of misunderstanding around how valuable that is as a family and community building. I mean, race communities are some of the nicest people you'll ever meet. And
it really was.
You got
last night was
club
awesome.
level flat track isn't doing well. At least it wasn't a couple of years ago. I'm not sure right now, but like you don't have like consistent club level events that are just for local people who live around, because like racetracks are too expensive and all this stuff. And it's like,
is that still is that happening on road, or is that happening in dirt as well?
What?
That club level stuff's not growing. I feel like dirt is.
I think dirt is, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to talk to statistics I don't have, but in my personal experience, the racetracks that are close to the community, they're small. You remember IMI in Denver. I think you went there.
Right through there.
Small kart track, had a flat track. That facility, the last I heard, was at least under pressure to close or move because the city had moved into it. And I think it's still open. But I do know that the events dwindled when I was leaving Colorado. Since I've been in California, I haven't been able to do much racing, but I do know it's not easy.
No.
So back when we were younger, we used to go do track days for $35 in Pueblo. And we'd like drive down, we'd call a lady on her phone. She'd come out of her trailer because she lived there. She'd unlock the gate. You'd throw her the money, sign a thing, And then she'd go back in her trailer. You never see anybody for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
There was no corner workers, no ambulance, no anybody. A
Yeah.
car would show up. Sometimes there was a dump truck on the racetrack. Not great, not safe. I understand that. But that
Yeah.
experience is really hard to replicate right
Yeah,
now. And so
exactly.
because of that, the barrier for entry is really high.
Yeah.
It's very expensive.
Exactly.
And it's very time consuming. And I don't know if we can fix that. So we have to figure out how to make it attainable still, though,
Yeah.
for everybody, so we can get, so the electric thing's pretty good. I get so mad when I see people bullying kids on electric bicycles, like
Yeah.
like doing wheelies and stuff, and they're like yelling, and it's
Yeah.
like, dude, what? Oh, hey kid,
I've heard you.
here's what you should do: go do drugs. You should go do drugs, kids. Don't do wheelies. Go do drugs. Go rob people. I don't know, or do wheelies and
well,
relax, everybody. Like,
Just like you said, there are fewer and fewer facilities, or the accessibility to facilities is not as great as it used to be back in the day. And I think they're gonna go and do it and find places wherever they can.
Yeah.
Like the whole dirt bike riding or motocross stuff, especially in California, is becoming a lot more difficult.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have a private facility that is race or motocross or dirt bike specific, I mean, I remember maybe 20 years ago when I first started coming to the US, the places where I was able to go and just ride my motorcycle from my garage, get on a dirt bike and be out all day.
Totally. Yeah, just dirt bike out. And like, reminiscing about the old times is great, but like, what are the activities we can do to replicate the similar vibe, like a similar trajectory? And I think that's a huge conversation that I'm sure OEMs are having, but have yet to really trickle back down to our customers.
It might not be, I mean, I'm sure finding more racetracks for local people to enjoy is maybe not the easiest one for an OEM to solve.
No, but maybe a product that doesn't require it.
The product, I
Right.
mean, the fact that displacements are dropping. There's entry level bikes now that, I mean, there were in many other segments before, but specifically in the European, there wasn't always like the.
They're still working through it. The
Yeah,
seat heights are still too tall, but
Yeah, we're getting there.
I mean, the fact that they are out is a huge jump. It's a huge jump, and it's on the dealer network to also have the same mindset.
So
Yeah.
for you as a dealer,
Yeah.
how does walking around over these past few days, what do you think what kind of influence do you think has been had over you with looking at how everybody else is marketing themselves? What ideas do you have that are coming up that are going to go, okay, right, I need to better market myself or speak to these people? Is it AI based?
No.
Which part of it is you gonna put that one back in?
Can we edit that?
Which part of it is AI based, and what tools do you think you need to utilize in terms of marketing your business?
Yeah.
And marketing, more importantly, marketing your people within your store.
Yeah, it's a great question. I did find that there are a couple of things, big overarching things that are hard to. I mean, you could talk about for hours on their own, but like my store, too restrictive with what we sell. You fall into these pathways with your brands, and then you become loyalists to those brands, and you never look at other brands. And they're Triumph Original and the CB750, right? So Triumph just was untouchable, didn't really think anything bad could happen. The CB750 showed up, and they went out of business. So like that's one thing that I'm watching. I'm like, there are some brands out there that are doing a really good job with high quality stuff that is less expensive than the things I'm carrying. Some of the things I'm carrying.
Yeah.
And not necessarily motorcycles. I think the motorcycles I have are pretty top of the market for what I do. But like in gear and in availability for parts. Also, I don't do. Our store is really known for accessibility, like globally. So like new riders, we're a very welcoming store. I don't think that I do a good enough job of thinking big picture enough, and I'm not exciting. Watching the conversations from some of the vendors and some of my friends there, I have a tendency to just try to target mediocrity and have that be like okay. Where I'm like, geez, because I really have like this imposter syndrome thing of where like that's the best we can ever do. But I watch, and the conversations are so big that it's like, oh yeah, we can literally do whatever we want. We can do whatever we want marketing. We can sell whatever we want. And so I think going back, I need to distance myself from being trapped in the normality of doing business the same way and start to expand into knowing how much, how far I can take it. I really need to think bigger picture. And that means opening my eyes to new products and to new brands and that kind of stuff and new marketing solutions. But I really am going to continue focusing on really taking care of my existing customer base, because we have very high quality customers that have been there for a very long time that we tend to ignore in a marketing standpoint, because we're just trying to grab new people while leaving the door open to be a safe place for anybody who want to come in. And if you've never ridden a motorcycle, you want to ask all of the questions, we'll answer them all.
You know, this morning I was working on a presentation for Accelerate, which is next week. And we'll be talking about life cycles and all that kind of stuff. And so I was going through these photos from before, so I can kind of paint the picture of what the store was before we sold it, before the turnaround happened. And man, I went down some serious memory lane time where, like, basically I had to find pictures of our speed shop and you know, the racetrack location we had and all the other like stuff that we had put on to kind of build up this picture a little bit more. There's a lot of pictures of you and me doing really stupid stuff in different places, so that's great. But I bring that up because looking through them, you know, Danny was getting all packed up and leaving. I'm like going through these pictures, like almost getting like teary eyed, like, man, we did some really cool shit. That was such a cool store. And what made it cool, the thing that was interesting was there was like always something that either like an event we were putting together or like a track day, or we were building a custom and customers were part of it, or there was like a tech talk day where people were changing oil on their own motorcycles. Like there was like constantly a thing that was an excuse for the customer to leave their house and hang out with us instead. And I think that component of like creating experiences for people is something that we have neglected over the last few years, because it was just like a focus on the business. It was COVID goes like this, and we're like, oh shit, get enough product, get it out the door. And the fun stuff went away. The fun part of the business went away. And now we got to remember, like, hey guys, we're all a little burnt out, but let's try and do the fun stuff.
I wonder, because like you brought up AI, and I had a visceral reaction to it, which I can't hide, and I don't want. I don't like it, but my digital twin loves it. So I think that's part of the problem, actually. So do you remember when you were doing that? I was doing the exact same thing at Erico. We were building this, like, everybody talks about the Erico parties and the end.
Yeah,
that was
jumping company vehicles with motorcycles.
Jumping motorcycles over stuff.
Stuff.
It was wild, right? And like that was a huge amount of energy and work. It's all we talked about.
A lot of energy and work.
And it sold motorcycles, right? And that, I think, and listen, all the OEMs, if you ever listen to this, I'm really sorry, because I'm not actually attacking you, but it's kind of your fault. No, I think that...
I disagree with that statement.
No. I think that the OEMs saw the success that came from that and then tried to systemize that success through dealership build-outs, through planned events. But because of that, like AI, it did pull it pulled enough of the hard work and personality out of it that those events became less meaningful. And sometimes we still do them, and they get good turnout, but they're not as rock and roll as they used to be, because they're
so
events.
Branded. They're so branded.
Right.
And it's not the store. It's the brand.
So when I say it's the OEM's fault, and I don't know what the answer is, because I understand protecting the brand. I understand what they have to do, but there has to be a conversation there about, hey, we still need to do the event, but we can't systemize experience. You can't systemize. This is why AI scares me.
Well,
you can't do it.
Exactly, but that's exactly it. You were talking about the experiences that you've created along the way and that you've had at your store level. But those experiences were real see, touch, feel.
Yeah.
And I think, talk about the industry and the OEMs, I think some of those marketing departments or people in those marketing departments have never really experienced the motorcycle side. A lot of them are now car people that have jumped over to the motorcycle side of things, or it's a new up and coming kid, not really a kid, I want to say, but some college student who's got a marketing degree comes out, and they're in the motorcycle industry purely because they couldn't find a placement in somewhere else. So now they're gonna try to cheat the system and use those AI tools to generate experiences.
Yeah.
But you know what? The consumer's not stupid.
Yeah.
They can see that it's AI generated. So
They can feel that it's not genuine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how can you try to push something under somebody's nose that is just, you're just gonna go, you look at it, take one look at it, and you go, it doesn't, it's not emotive.
Yeah.
There's nothing about, because you can see it's so fake. You just go,
I would
next.
bet, because I do know some marketing people in this industry that are legit. They're motorcycle people. They've been in the industry for a long time. They
Are we dancing around the fact that Lance does that? Because I don't think we need to.
I didn't intend to dance around. I'm talking about OEM level. I'm talking
Okay,
about
yeah,
like
gotcha.
OEM marketing.
Yeah.
I think this is pretty obvious.
Yeah.
We tried to AI him. His digital twin.
For those of you who don't know, sorry, I don't think we even introduced anybody, but you know me, probably Justin Watson
Maybe,
owns Scuderia, works with ONX. Lance Isaacs was not only a world Superbike champion, multiple times over.
Well, not really a world superbike champion. I was
that shit up. You raced in world Superbike.
I was a world champion. I mean, in my own world.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Yeah.
But no, I have won a few championships along my career.
Yep.
A long illustrious career. Started racing. I think I signed my first professional contract in 1995.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You're old.
I am. I'm almost.
It's like that Kevin Hart moment. It's like, damn. Sorry.
Yeah. Damn. No. It's. I was on the other side of this whole thing. So being on this side of the table with regards to being a part of the industry from a business side of things.
Yeah.
Where before everything was athlete and
You were the entertainment. Now you're doing the
the show
entertaining.
monkey. But I was part of that traveling circus that went into town. And back in the day, once again, manufacturers or dealers would take advantage of us being in town and the racetrack, and they'd bring customers to the track to go and watch racing. They don't do that anymore because, well, let's say more especially on the road racing side of things, it's coming back. Which is why Harley Davidson is now having those conversations to getting back into racing and MotoGP because they've seen how sexy it is. They needed to do something in order to bring a new customer base in.
Yeah.
Because now those baggers, there's a range of motorcycles that they would never normally sold to a certain age group of customers.
Yeah.
They're looking at those bikes now and going, oh shit, 200 horsepower, 200 mile an hour race bikes, all in suspension, crazy, doing the same lap times at the Daytona 200 as Daytona 200 bikes.
Yeah.
And those things weigh it's like riding a bus at
what
200
they're-
miles an hour on the banking.
Yeah.
What they're doing
It's
right
wild.
now.
It really is.
Nobody really can understand. It's hard for them because they have to switch their core bases. They have
Yeah, they have
switch-
to get
they
people
have to
excited.
or they go
They
out
have
of
to
business,
drop
right?
the average
And so,
age for
like,
sure.
what they're doing right now, for me, not being a Harley guy, is awesome.
It
I
is.
think it's
Yeah,
great.
it is.
And obviously, there's going to be upset along the way when you do that with a heritage brand like that, like really pop. But it's
I don't know I haven't heard of anyone being upset that Harley's going back to racing again.
what?
Really?
Not the racing necessarily. No, not the racing.
You mean
but-
switching gears from what they've been doing?
Right,
last-
like pulling out, like if you talk to like real Harley guys, they love the racing. I wasn't, but like some of the product that they're releasing.
Oh,
some of
okay,
the
yeah.
stuff, like some of the marketing tactics that they're using, and but I think it's just a really smart move in the long run because it's like they're changing what we expect from that company incrementally, which is really important. By the way, Lance now works in marketing with a company called N8.
Innate Industries.
And and so we skipped over that. You
Actually,
talked about Superbike, but that's what we were talking about.
N8 was the company that in the turnaround we used for the rebirth party for our big push, and that was we got a huge attendance. You guys knocked it out of the park for us.
Well, I think you had. Well, most dealerships have so much going on, and a lot of the times when you're standing so close to the fire, you don't realize you're getting burnt or your people are getting burnt out.
Yeah.
When you have an outside marketing team, they're actually able to look around and see how much work you're putting into it and how much running around you're doing.
Yeah.
And you often get so caught up in so many things, you forget to have certain conversations.
Yeah.
Especially with your customers. And sometimes those customers don't show up at the dealership but need to be reminded.
Yeah.
And I think what you've done with your whole turnaround project, being able to, I mean, this is a great platform for you to talk about it, but not everybody follows the kinds of channels that you'd be posting this about.
Of course.
So having those conversations or showcasing what you're doing on the other platforms, and like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever, all of them, giving those people the opportunity to put their eyes on what's going on, and they're like, oh, they may have had an issue previously. It's like, nothing really happens there. It's kind of dead. There's no reason for me to go in there. But to help companies like yours that have now got this resurgence happening within the walls, you're injecting new life into it.
Yeah.
So a marketing company that can actually let you know, you're not supposed to post every single day because there's a whole black art and algorithm that goes into doing those kinds of things.
Yeah.
We'll show you how to do it, and we'll make sure it looks cool.
Yeah.
That will actually attract people to because the biggest mistake some people make is you just start spamming your customer base. Because they go, oh, I've got this whole client list. I'm just going to keep sending them emails and bombarding them with information.
Yeah.
They're just going to switch it off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like you have like a certain amount of interactions where the message really gets through, and if you over communicate,
you need to operate.
All those messages get.
You need to operate within that window. If you kind of step outside of that window, you either piss people off, or
disappear.
Yeah, people just go, I'm done.
Now, when we brought you on, I think the thing that was most valuable with Innate when we were setting up for our events was simply having someone else to be able to depend upon. I'm running this tiny team and trying to put together a big event.
Yeah.
And I've got to just keep the lights on and the doors open and the people doing their jobs and keep training people and hiring the new people. Like, we're doing all these other pieces. And for me to, at that same time, had to have figured out, okay, all the marketing that goes into it, and I got to create the Facebook account or the Facebook event and all the posts. It was so much. But man, to be able to say, you're a grown-up and are responsible, and there's a whole team of people, awesome. You take this.
Yeah.
And then whenever you didn't have something you needed, in most cases, you guys reached out to me, and then if I could get it to you quickly, I got it. If not, there was times when you couldn't get a hold of me, and you guys just like made it happen.
Yeah.
Made something up.
And you made it. And I was like, shit, oh my God, I just needed someone to be able to do that for me. And that was just such a huge lift off my shoulders, and it still made the event happen.
Yeah, because you do, and I'll say it once again, you do have so much going on within the store between, looking at everything between the books and trying to talk to customers, keep everybody happy, making sure your sales guys are doing their job, looking at leads, following up on leads.
Yeah.
Your parts to service guys are doing their job. Everybody's got what they need. And now the scary part is, if you're a GM and you go, I need you to take photos of this, or look at the Facebook, make sure the website's up to date, make sure we've got all the motorcycles there. What are you doing? You're behind everybody with a broom all the time.
Yeah.
But when you have a marketing team that actually looks at all those kinds of things, and you need to be more creative.
Yeah.
You don't have the time a lot of the times to be creative in that.
Yeah,
in that
exactly.
space.
Because you're just running from fire to fire.
So with the marketing team like ours, we can actually go, okay, hey, you know what? This is what's happening, or this is what you have coming up with regards to your OEM, because we have access to their marketing portals. So, you've got this special on this particular motorcycle.
Yeah.
We can give you a party in the box and help you pull that off successfully, because I think the last thing your staff want to do is, in between trying to sell the motorcycles and push them around, is be the party planner.
Yeah.
So if we can give you that event, we can give you the party in a box, make it happen for you,
Yeah.
it takes so much off of your plate.
Yeah, especially from people who are also
Yeah.
motorcyclists from this industry. So you know what to look out for. You know what voice it needs to come from. You know what it actually means to do this kind of stuff. It's not just like I'm hiring some other marketing agency who has absolutely no idea what this industry is like, and the voice they put out there is off.
Yeah.
Like a lot of what I've had a few conversations over these few days. Like the one thing that kept coming up was co-op.
Yeah.
Co-op. And like once again, you're the industry people. How many times do you do all of these events, and what levels of co-op are you actually watching?
Yeah.
And how often
Are you using it all?
Oh yeah, are you using it at all? Because
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
if you don't use it, it gets taken away and given to somebody else.
Yeah.
So your competitor is actually benefiting from you not doing anything. So we as a marketing team are able to actually keep eyes on that kind of stuff, whether it's your digital advertising, creating banners, helping you make sure that your website is good. I mean, we've
Yeah.
got Maggie Glassi, who's a UX designer, and UX obviously meaning UX experience, making sure that that experience start to finish, because people, so most of the times before they even come into your store, they're going to look up either on their phone or on their computer and go, I wonder who's got what.
Yeah.
How good is your SEO?
Your digital front door, how
Yeah.
well you're showing up.
Exactly.
Your digital backdoor.
SEO.
I mean, you have to watch the digital
Yeah.
backdoor.
Yeah. You do. You
Yeah.
do. You have to protect it.
Oh, you mean that backdoor?
Digital.
Yeah.
Yeah. The digital one, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's so many things out that are up in the air that you need to actually figure out, which one is more important. And you cannot always keep your eyes on everything, but it takes a team to help you make sure that all of those things are focused. And it doesn't need to be an expensive exercise to market. You need to. I think that most people shy away from marketing, especially when they think, oh, it's off season, so we don't need to be marketing right now.
Yeah.
That's when you need to be doing your marketing.
Yeah.
Because if people aren't riding, there needs to be that constant
They need to be
reminder.
excited about it still when
there's
it's not
something
the
sitting.
time.
Yeah, there's something sitting in the garage. There might be a day where I can go and ride my motorcycle. In the wintertime, depending on where you are.
It brings
Yeah.
you back to meaningful customer contact, which we talk about all the time, which
Yep.
is like reaching out to customers that about things other than buying stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is like something that we don't talk about enough, I think. And I think that's like that off season thing, is that like meaningful contact is not about extracting profit at the time. Meaningful contact is about supporting the use of the thing in hopes that will generate interest for a new thing.
Well, you literally just did an event at your store,
Yeah.
the BDR screening.
Yeah. BRX.
Yeah, BDRX. And so for you to have, how many, like a couple hundred people?
100. I think we were 145, something like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like a launch pad for you,
Oh, dude.
who
Yeah.
Justin is.
Yeah, it was my first
being-
event, and
yeah.
I was terrified because
I know,
it
we-
started at noon, and I was pacing back and forth.
Well, leading up to it, we'd had so many conversations about
Yeah.
how we're marketing it,
Yeah,
who
yeah.
we're talking to,
Yeah.
are people RSVPing,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. And I don't even think that the doors were barely closed, and we're already having a conversation about what your next event's
No,
going to
totally,
be.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was good, and it really helped not just me and my store, but like it introduced us to this whole community
Yeah.
in a way that like I was watching people make friends there that didn't know each other.
We had the same thing happen at Rebirth. It was
Right.
great.
And like then they told me later that they were going on rides with those people, and it was just like, oh man, that's cheesy, but like that's cool.
The whole ride
Like,
group started
yeah,
from,
like
from
that's
that one
yeah,
event
like
that we did,
yeah, and
yes.
it's that's like super cool because like that's what I'm talking about, like health of the industry. Is
Yeah.
that like everybody should be doing that.
We got to be doing that. We got to be building our own little communities
Yeah,
to support
yeah.
the whole
Yeah, but
industry.
at the same time, how do you now, if you're not doing the right thing in terms of capturing that, how do you bring you need to capture that and bring those stories back to the store?
Yeah.
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 So okay, you met.
The
Where did
event,
you meet? Yeah.
And there's bench racing where you just sit at the shop and talk about the things you did.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
okay. So now, how do you get you've done that event? How do you get your sales guys to reach out to those customers and
Yeah.
go, hey, I know you guys were planning on going on a ride. How did that go?
Full
Come in
circle.
and
Yeah.
talk, tell us the story.
This is how you do it, okay? So you take your salespeople. This is real. Pay attention. And then you scan them into the computer, fire the person, digital AI. Digital, what is that called? It's a digital twin. There you go. AI. Digital twin. And then that robocalls them over and over and over again and asks them to just purchase something. Isn't that right? Is that
That's
where
where
I
we're
took
going.
from this.
That's where we're going. So you brought something up. So in a previous career, you were a CXO, right? Chief Experience Officer.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you'd mentioned to me when we were after a couple too many drinks walking around that some of the events that you had put on that were like international events.
Yeah.
You'd fly customers to different countries
Yeah.
and ride motorcycles with them.
Yeah.
That stuff is incredible. Is that stuff that, like, how could, maybe I'm putting you on the spot here, how could we do that?
Participation. That's it.
No. I mean, look, I think about, and we could cut this out. This doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But when we threw our event for Moto Julia, I actually put up I did a little presentation on, hey, here's what we've done. Here's why it changed. Here's what we want to be now. And we put up this big QR code. And in that QR code, people could sign up for the membership, which was $20 off the labor rate. It was our little workaround for dropping the rate. But it was also a way for them to tell us what they wanted us to do. And so we had all these questionnaires, these like, do you want to do track days or tech talks or this or group rides? And so we actually got all these people to respond to what types of things they want to do with the store. And some people had, written in their own responses of like tours, like let's do something big somewhere else, like put together. And if I truly believe that if there was a date on the calendar and a list of open available spots and just a price, and we could literally get people signed up. We could have them show up to an event at the shop where we talk about what the event's going to be like. I mean, it would be so cool if that could come back, if what you did in the previous company could come back and be like, hey, okay, let's do it. Let's do a Utah ride, or let's do a whatever thing that's going to be.
Yeah,
so,
and that is absolutely possible. I feel that we have the team at Innate Industries to definitely put stuff like that together.
Yeah.
Because we can like you as a dealer, don't have the time to do all of these things, but we can actually build that out for you and actually help you create those experiences, and for you to be able to enjoy it and not just be the one holding people's hands and babying them.
Why does this feel like Max trying to go on like the ride? This is
is it me wanting to go
the way
do that?
he just said, man. So he just like sold himself out so bad. He was like, man.
Well, think about this, Max. Well, think about this. Locally, right? I mean, how many of your customers, if you said, "Hey, I want to put an event together. I'm going to do a talk at the dealership. We want to talk about motorcycles or MotoGP. Let's plan a trip, limited spots. Let's say 10 people. We will go to MotoGP as a group.
Yep.
We've done this before.
We'll get pit passes.
Yeah.
You get all this VIP
Exactly.
experience.
We'll do the whole walkthrough. You'll enjoy the weekend and get on the bus, go back home.
Yeah.
So yes, goes back to meaningful customer contact, though. You have to build that community because it would be an expensive trip. And that's fine. You could find 10 people in the motorcycle community in your city, wherever you're at, that would pay to do that. You can't fling that one out there on its own. You can't just be like, hey, we've got this $5,000 trip that we're only opening for 10 people. You have to start with, we watch MotoGP at the store.
Yes.
We think it's serious.
Agreed.
We call the people we know who are into MotoGP and follow up with if they've seen the race or if they need to be personally invited to the next race. So I think yes, the answer is yes, but the hard work of all of this, which is what we talk about in the cohorts with the roadmap and getting managers to do the tasks daily, is that we're understaffed. The industry is understaffed. The industry is trying very hard. The industry's just scraping for whatever they can get. And the answer is to not ignore that, but to add to it. You've got to start. You have to seed it. you can't just come out with an international trip because you don't have enough people who trust you enough to take you internationally.
Yeah, it's a great point. Yeah.
If you're going to send out an international trip as a dealer, you have to have limited spots that are then overbooked.
Yeah.
If they're underbooked, you rolled it out too soon. You don't have the community support.
It's a great point.
Exactly, and that's exactly it. Knowing your community.
Yes.
And those guys are going to be when they do come back, or if they have been on experiences with you previously, they're going to be talking to your customers. Like you're having your little parties where it's not necessarily just a ride, but you're having a gathering at your dealership. Either it's a bike night. Bike night or movie night.
Tech night. I'm doing a tech night this month. I've got a wine tasting the next month. If I have somebody who shows up and I can take the data and compare it, if I have somebody who shows up to all three of those, that person's is now
they're loyal.
They're an independent invite. Meaning I blasted it out on social media and everything, but then I need a list.
You know exactly who you're calling personally.
Yes.
And I don't call that person to buy something. I call that person and say, hey, you really like coming to my events. Make sure you get to this next one.
Yep.
And then once you get 20 of those, you can invite 10 of them to go to MotoGP.
Yeah,
Right.
That's a really great point.
Yeah.
That is recognizing who are your consistent, loyal customers showing up to that stuff is.
Oh, well,
Well, you can also look at their buying trends. What are they? What are those customers buying? Who's buying what?
Yeah.
When? Why?
Yeah.
From what motorcycle they're
we
riding?
We
to-
have all the data.
Yeah.
I mean, we do that already,
Yeah.
but like having that list, that ELV list, just
Yeah, the
hanging
loyals.
somewhere.
Yeah, it's a
Just
great
be
point.
like, here you go, man.
There he is.
There's-
So
how many
here's-
times have we
There's
touched base with them?
385 of them on my list.
Yeah.
And I need to be able to call them at any point and get them on the phone.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work for 385 people. It's
It is.
not that many people, though. When you think about a dealership, when you
Yep.
think about the volume of work we do, if you're a 500 unit dealer, your list is probably 425 customers long, I would imagine, right? You know, 400 or
Somewhere around
500
there.
customers.
So you say you have that list, right?
Uh-huh.
So, great, you got the list. How do you relay that information to your salespeople? And are your salespeople
question.
actually making or utilizing that? It's all great, well and good if you have all of that information or all of that data somewhere on your computer, but how do you use those? How do you give your salespeople the tools to?
You know
to
what? I'm
use
almost
that?
thinking, is it this is size-wise, this might be a problem for the really large stores, but like your size store, my size store, I almost think the salesperson's job isn't necessarily to continue to cultivate and make that person feel extra special. It is. But what if we go, the salesperson's job is to continue to cultivate the existing customers and bring in more customers and answer the phone when it rings, make the outgoing calls. Like that's their job. They got to move the metal, right? What if it becomes like, Justin, if you called those 300 customers, that means so much. The owner of the dealership is calling to check on me. And so what if that just becomes part of your responsibility?
No,
It
sure.
becomes part of my responsibility.
Sure.
Saying,
Yeah,
hey man, how's it
Every day
going?
you call 2 or 3 of them until you
Yeah.
cycle through the list. And you can't, I'm a firm believer of thinking that anybody on that list, you can't call about purchasing something.
No,
That's a
no,
really
no.
hard thing. What we've been doing is that that group of people gets a different invite than
That's cool.
the other group of people. And it isn't different special, it's targeted. It is it isn't sales targeted, but it is informationally targeted.
Yeah. Yes.
So if one of those 385 people come into my store, they all need to have notes. Now they don't all have notes, right? Not
Yeah.
yet. But I haven't seen most. I mean, I've only been running the store since September. But
Yeah.
as they come in, the staff is supposed to make notes about them on a personal level.
But man, if you don't know those people already, man, if any owner doesn't know those people, and you're just cold calling that person saying, "Hey, I'm the owner of Scuderia.
Oh, wow.
I just
Yeah. I just wanna say thank
I just want to say thanks. I
Yeah,
want to get
and
to know
hey-
you a little bit." And
Hey,
and
thanks,
the
and we have
things,
an event coming up.
and then the things you learn, you're putting in there.
Yeah, for
You're
sure.
setting the tone for those
No,
for the
100%.
sales guys.
Here's the
Good
weird
notes,
part
too.
is that if you go to your staff and you and this is a different podcast entirely, but if you go to your staff and you say, "Hey, who's your top 10?" They're probably on the list. They're not at the top.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
They're not at the top of value per transaction.
Well, they're
not all-
not going to pay attention to the same things that you would pay attention to.
Agreed.
It might be the customers they see the most.
The
They might not
customers
be
they
the-
see the most, or the customers who are the noisiest. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean the most vocal,
Yeah.
the most charismatic are the ones they'll list. You have customers who you don't know, who are very, very close to the top of the list, because what they do is they come in and they spend money and they leave. And they're not super charismatic. They are no drama. And it's really hard to remember.
We don't think about them as being loyal
drama,
and important.
Right? Yeah, totally. And so like, but okay, so we got the list. We have the events once a month, right?
Yeah.
Once you start doing that and you really know your 300, your 300 will turn into 400 because you're treating your other customers better.
Yeah.
And out of your 300, you will find 20 who want to go, even if there's only 10 spaces. No question.
The data, I don't know if I ever told you this, but the data that we did studying these customer trends, the top 6% of your customer base make up 50% of your profit. Yeah. So it's only 6% of customers that actually do it. So if you, like he's saying, you take that 6% and you grow it to, 7%, what does that mean in profitability if it goes? So it really is like you're calling the couple hundred he's talking about isn't even the 6%. That 6% is even smaller because that couple hundred, that 300 or whatever is actually 20% of your entire customer. So if we just start calling every one of those and make those what we call loyals, the top 20% of loyals, even more loyal, then it's not about.
And that's the marketing conversation you and I have had quite a bit, is that what we tend to do is blast market to people who don't know us. We say, hey, we're here, which is something I'm doing now because my store moved. It's ownership. It feels very much like nobody knows us.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that everybody listening, it feels like nobody knows you as well, because somebody will walk in and be like, oh, I didn't know you were here.
How long have you guys been here?
Yeah.
But
It's a pop-up.
Yeah, exactly.
if you spend that same
37-year-long pop-up.
If you were to spend the same marketing dollars on not getting people's attention who don't know you, but taking care of the people who do know you and keep the lights on.
They're the ones that are going to talk about your store.
Wouldn't they
attitude.
They're your
increase that
influencers,
more?
yeah.
They are
And
your
so then,
influencers,
so then you
exactly.
start talking about value, and you start talking about, yeah, sure, a MotoGP trip would be very expensive and it would be crazy, and you might, as a dealer, have to foot a big chunk of the bill because, like, right, you could just divide it out evenly, but you got your own staff going, you got to take time off of work. If you took that spend and gave it to your top 6% instead of giving it to your bottom 0%, don't know us.
Yeah, the marketing we
What's
blast.
the
to people
ROI
that-
on the difference there? And are we thinking about marketing in a
That's a great point.
Maybe a backwards way.
If you've got a $50,000 marketing budget in your dealership, and you're spending $50,000 across your tens of thousands of people in your database, wouldn't it be better to take that 50 and spend it on the most valuable,
just on the top 6,
loyal, creating customers,
and then say, hey, tell your friends about us, so we can make it 7.
Yeah.
Or you invite one or two of the not top 6.
Yeah.
You invite the 1 or 2 of the top 7 to try to promote them to be top 6s.
Yep.
The ROI's got to be probably better. I mean,
let's do it.
Let's do it and find
try
out.
it on
Yes,
in the lab. Yeah.
Well, so we did this motorcycle tour to South Africa. Of the 14 people that went, literally when we came back, we sold, I think it was 7 or 8 motorcycles just off of that trip.
Yeah, because if you've got a customer,
And those guys paid for that trip, right?
Yeah, they paid for
of course.
it.
They paid to go,
Yeah,
and they came back and bought motorcycles.
But the reason why I created that trip was because obviously the first touch point for people was when they hear my stupid accent. They go, "Where are you from?" South Africa.
Oh, you're not from here?
No.
You just made up a funny accent for no reason.
And they go, "Oh, that's more of an impediment than anything."
Bro, I just snorted
snorted.
directly in the microphone.
You did.
Well, the thing is, like, okay, you got a funny accent. Oh, South Africa. I've always wanted to go to South Africa. It'd be cool to ride motorcycles or even just go on a safari. So you know what? I created a trip. Well, people go, I'd love to go on a trip, but it just seems so far, and I don't have the bandwidth to
Like how are you going to plan it?
If somebody would plan the trip, I will give you my money, and I just want to show up and ride.
It's scary to go someplace out of the country.
Yeah.
We've
By
done it a
yourself,
bunch.
Figure it out on your own.
We've done it a bunch, but like, it isn't. It's a wild thing to do when you think about it for most people.
Not everybody wants to go through the whole process of planning.
Right,
you
renting
know,
a bike,
what day am
figuring
I
out where to
getting
go.
there? Yeah, wait, who do I speak to rent a bike? Or can I trust that person?
Yeah.
Right.
And what kind of bikes to?
And to be fair, when we showed up to rent ours the last time we went, brake lever fell off in the parking lot of my motorcycle.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I like went to push the brake lever, just check it had rear brakes, and it was like tink, and it fell off on the ground. And the guy was like, "Oh, scusi." And he came over and was like trying to, and I was like, man, I think I'm gonna go with a different one.
Yeah. But yeah, it's literally that kind of thing, party in the box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have the time to plan everything, or it feels intimidating to try to put all of that together, start to finish. Insurance, flights, accommodations, where do you go?
Yeah.
Is it safe? At which side of the road am I riding on?
Yeah.
Especially in foreign countries.
Do they speak the language?
Do they speak the language?
Yeah.
So yeah, exactly. In clicks, depending on where you are.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, you did say safari, and I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
how far north you got to go?
Yeah.
well, I mean, we started at the coast in Cape Town.
Yeah.
Rode inland, spent 2 days at a game reserve,
Oh, cool.
which was amazing. I mean, we'll send you some images. We can put them
Yeah.
up.
They'll be right here.
Yeah, and having people experience elephant for the first time.
Yeah.
and it's
What, like eating it?
a bit tough. It's chewy. But yeah, I mean, seeing rhino and lion and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff, and they're just like, we never thought we'd be able to get here and actually experience it in its natural habitat.
Yeah.
And
on motorcycles.
Motorcycles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It'd be
exactly.
so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they one day went from looking at game, and the next day to playing golf at the ocean.
Playing
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Playing game to game.
Game to game.
Yeah.
Speaking of game to game, we got to get you on a flight.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is almost that time. So thanks for hanging out. This has been fun.
Yeah,
Not
it's
just
good.
the podcast, but like actually the
whole week.
last
Yeah.
couple days.
Yeah, it was
We really-
great. It was great.
The conversations have been great.
Also, I don't know if humans can take trazodone for like dogs, but I would recommend if you don't have children currently, and so you're not built like that, traz before you go to Disneyland. Okay? I'm just telling you, anybody.
He's not a
it's
Disney
lot.
adult.
It's a
There's
lot. A lot of flashing lights, people touching you all over. There's touching.
There was nobody touching me all over.
I was, and then you can only breathe just a little bit. It's not good. I wouldn't recommend it. It's fine.
But yeah, no, listen, great. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
We need to have a lot more conversations like this, and they are very casual. They perceive to be casual conversations, but they're important conversations.
They are.
So
I mean, if we're going to continue to have exciting, if we're going to look back at next AIM, let's say, and feel like, okay, there's still momentum, stuff's moving forward, we have to continue to have these conversations. Otherwise, we all go back in our stores, in our own little holes, and we get just depressed and we get beat down.
If you wait for AIM, it's going to to be a year.
Yeah, exactly. So don't wait till AIM.
Yeah. So what's next? It's January.
Yeah.
What is you only? The year is just
start
kicking off.
planning the year.
What are you
Cool stuff
doing
for you
this
to do.
month?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or in the next 2 or 3 months.
Also, I have to say, it felt like a really good pod. Like, we got a lot of good information out there. So I think that Maggie might be the problem in ours.
Yeah. Squirrel.
All right. Well,
Okay.
thank you guys.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
dude. Awesome hanging out.
Yeah. Awesome.
See ya.
Thank you.